Hello, hello, hello. This is an exciting day. We have a very special program for you today. Not program in the spell casting way, by the way. Let's call it a show. Oh, not show in the circus way. What do we call it nowadays, anyways? We're going to have a lot of fun. And this is really phenomenal because we have some amazing guests today. And the title of the show is Take Your Power Back. So before we get into it, please like, share, and refollow because on Rumble, as we've all learned, people get unsubscribed and you have to resubscribe yourself. I know it's scandalous, but it is what it is at this point. Let me introduce you to one of our four guests at a time. And actually, first, I think I'm going to bring on my co-host, the man that wasn't, you all missed him because he wasn't here yesterday, I'm sure. Robert Imbriali, how are you doing today,
I,
sir?
I am I am well, my friend Lewis. And boy, did I miss not being here yesterday. That's one of the things is like I have to be on the show. I have to be here for the people.
Yeah, it was,
Good to see you.
I think we did okay, but we're so glad to have you back.
Thank you. And I did get to watch it, and you did a really, really, really good job as you always do, and a lot of great commentary on the show as well. So, kudos to you for grabbing the reins yesterday in my
Hmm.
absence.
Nice. I'm glad it worked.
Yeah.
So let me bring on first. I want to bring on Don Milton, and Don's going to explain his background, and we're going to go over some stuff. And what I love about Don is he's actually give you what I called applied science to enhance your life. Don, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lewis and Robert. Well, the short version is I started off to be a research theoretical mathematician and professor. I dropped out of that in the early 70s, somehow stumbled into sales, kind of like the concept of professional sales. Ended up doing basically investment real estate brokerage, helping people buy and sell apartment complexes around the Southeast. Did that for about almost 25 years. And based on a lot of, I guess you call personal growth work that I had been doing since 1990, God just threw me somewhat kicking and screaming into the profession that I've been doing for 20 years as a emotional freedom coach. So that's the short version.
I love it. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to bring on next my friend, if I can call him that, Greg Schumacher. And he, with our other two guests, are kind of connected together because they're doing an event in February that is going to be fantastic. It's already manifested as fantastic. Now they just have to show up. So let's bring on Greg Schumacher. How you doing, my friend?
Hey everybody, how are you? I'm happy to be on the show with Robert and Lewis, and thank you for having us on. And yeah, we're about to hit a tour. Me, Brittany, and Jarin are gonna hit the road and do a little tour. As following the Truth Tours, we're gonna kind of upgrade it a little bit to something a little different, a little bit of education and entertainment and empowerment. Really want to push that forward in people and get them to learn amazing things about themselves and what they can do in a limitless mindset. But for me, I'm actually five generations, both sides of my family, General Electric, a ton of inventors and innovators in my family, and I decided to go this path and really push the limits away from all of that kind of stuff and put my innovation into things that are just for advancing humans and advancing the way we think and act about ourselves. We are absolutely stuck in programming, stuck in loop patterns, stuck in the flat time of repeating things over and over. And my job as a visionary and as a transformational leader is to really bring those people out of that time and bring themselves up into the vertical and really, really empower themselves into this limitless mindset. So that's what I'm doing, Lewis.
Mm, very concise and beautiful. Thank you very, very much, Greg. And speaking of beautiful, let's bring on Jarin Kenyon, who has an amazing background, and I would consider him a spiritual life coach, but that's my giving him that title. He can introduce yourself, Jaron, and tell us what you're all about. And I always love your background, by the way.
Yeah, we always go with the old pyramid. It has a lot of meaning to me. So thank you, Lewis and Robert, for having us on. I'm really happy to be here. Yeah, I would call myself that. That's a good name. There's lots of names we could give my identity, but what I aim to share with people is the true identity that you are an immortal being. You're an eternal being. You're an infinitely powerful being in potential that is having a human experience. And in this realm, there's infinite possibilities. And that as you transform inside and as we start to elevate our consciousness to shift a little bit more into the intention of our effect of what we want to experience or what our goals are, and begin to vibrate at that level and then act that way, behave that way, move in the direction that way, that the cosmos or the field that is around us is for us. It's not against us. It's a reflective field and it's for us. The more we're authentic, the more we strive for our next version of ourselves, the more we aim to be, live by our principles, live by our values, and go after our dreams. And so, a little different in that, when I was 4 or 5 years old in the late 80s, I could remember my mother telling me about this time frame and about how intention creates reality. So I had a little bit of support throughout my life in recognizing this creative abilities that we have. I didn't always do that, though. I became a personal trainer. I got a degree in kinesiology, lived in Los Angeles, had the life, the warm weather, enjoyed seeing all the women and, being involved in the fitness field out there. And basically through a challenge of health, as well as me starting to notice that what I was thinking about was manifesting and it was starting to defy logic, I started to get into it more and got trained a little bit through Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey's organization as a life mastery consultant, learned from one of my greatest teachers, who was an Indian teacher named Dr. Pillai. Some would call it a guru. Went out to India, which changed my life, as well as Michael Beckwith, who was also in The Secret. Had some training in that and then decided back in like 2009 to totally go all in. And for the last 14 years, just been building my dream, walking towards it. Had lots of failures, lots of successes, learned a lot, and arrived to where we are now. We're thankfully where I've met Greg, and we've been doing the Rise TV show for now 5 years. So some of you know me through that, as well as last year meeting our next guest, Brittany, who is now joining us in the I Am Limitless tour.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jaron. And speaking of Brittany, I did not go ladies first here this time because I decided to save the best for last. So therefore, let me bring in Brittany Renee. Tell us about yourself, Brittany. I'm so happy to have you here.
Oh, I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us on. And Jaron, what a beautiful segue, as per usual. So my name is Brittany Renee. I am a transcendental catalyst. I am a new earth leader. I am an authenticity activator. Again, we could put a million labels. I started actually my journey. I'm American Indian, so I am Assiniboine Indian, and I am of the chief lineage. So I grew up in a very spiritual household. My mom told me forever, you have gifts. And for the longest time, I thought she was crazy. Then as I got older, I started realizing, I actually have a lot of manifestation abilities. My dreams are always telling me what's going on. So I started tuning into that a little bit deeper. I was actually a professional makeup artist before I stepped into this field of coaching and got to work on some incredible projects. I did New York Fashion Week, lived in New York and LA, did the whole thing, created the entire business. And then I was like, yeah, this isn't it. And stepped more into my embodiment journey, my spiritual path, my journey. And now, since 2017, I am coaching women around embodiment and embodying the feminine essence. I'm also activating new earth leaders now in their businesses. So I'm deepening the coaching around helping people really live a life that is full of soul and mission driven life, purpose, play, fun. And I'm speaking a lot more now as well on stages. That's my whole 2024, which is why I'm so excited about I Am Limitless as well, is helping people just remember who they are beyond this human experience, who they are as a soul, and helping them create that limitlessness that we all have the ability to attain.
So that is amazing. Now, what's interesting is, as Brittany just mentioned about authenticity. So let's talk about how the world's vibrations work. Today, I released a video on all my platforms called The Age of Authenticity. Not coincidence? Probably not, because I definitely believe in the 100 monkey effect also. But with the age of authenticity, what we really are, this is my belief system, is that people are craving authenticity over everything else right now. And some of them don't know it. If people can find their authentic self, whatever, how goofy that could be, it doesn't matter. That's what I think is so, so important right now. And I believe people are reaching for it and they really want it. And interesting enough is there's been studies, and I love frequencies, and I love Dr. Emoto's work. And there's been studies that authenticity has a frequency that's 4,000 times more powerful than the second highest frequency, and that is love. And like I said in my video, can you really have true love without authenticity? I don't think so. So I think it is very paramount. So I'm so glad you brought it up, guys. Let's talk about authenticity. Don Milton, what can you enlighten us with? I think you're muted, Don. Don is authentically muted.
I got it?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah. No, I think it's just, walking your talk. I mean, one of the big things I do with clients right off the bat is talk about life priorities and, how congruent you are. So, I think if a person is very clear on their life priorities and they're congruent with that, then they're authentic.
Yep, I would agree. Greg, what do you think?
Well, authenticity, I've done a lot of, I call them Greg Schumacher experiences. I every week on the show, I put together a 5 to 10 minute video on teaching. And a lot of it has to do with authenticity. I think it's and I actually did the actual study you just talked about with love and authenticity being so much higher. So I've done that coincidentally. Wink,
Amazing.
wink.
Yes, wink.
When we talk about authenticity, we have to really reach inside of ourselves and go through the stages of all the stuff we've learned and been taught, and all the bullies that have been in our lives, and all the victimness have been in our lives, and all the trapped emotions inside of us. We have to get through all that to find who we truly are. So it's a process to get to the authentic self. But once you find it, you become very magnetic, because you are attracting the subconscious of other people, because they're like, whoa, I want to be like that. I want to know who I truly am. And that's really what I see, is when you become that authentic self, when you get through all that stuff and you put the effort forward, then you start to become magnetic, and you attract those around you that are your family of light, and they want to come to you and have you as a coach, or have you as a friend, or have you as whatever, to teach them how to get there. Yep.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Jarin, I'm sure you have nothing to say on this subject whatsoever.
Not at all, Lewis. Not at all. So we'll make it semi-short. So yeah, absolutely. Authenticity is the way, and the cosmos loves it when we're being authentic. The more authentic we're being, the more help we have, invisible and visible. And I think that's partially why we're here, to remember who we really are, and to be willing to be it despite all circumstances, despite everything that's going on in the Maya, despite what anybody else thinks, despite how anyone else views life, to authentically walk our hero's journey as we are, which shifts, which changes, we evolve, we transform. And the work, the inner work from the true player character, right, is to upgrade ourself so that we can be present to our own version of how we view reality, and how we want to behave in reality, and the direction that we're heading in reality. And so it's a beautiful subject, and something I work with people too, to offer them a tool of cosmic human design, your quantum design, to uniquely have a look at how you're built and how you're built to interface with the field. It helps you be you, because everyone's different, and everyone has a different, not only perception, but a way that their body or their avatar interacts with the environment. And so that's just a side note of something we'll be talking about in the I Am Limitless tour, for those of you who have not explored it. But authenticity is the way, and I'll leave you with this last statement too. We do not manifest what we want, ever. we manifest who we are being, what we are vibrating at. So authenticity is the way, and also authenticity in becoming your goals, becoming the creation that you wish to see, becoming one with it, removing the separation and becoming one with what you're wishing to accomplish. And authenticity definitely is the key to that.
I absolutely love that. And Brittany, we're just getting to know you here. And so if you can tell us what's your take on authenticity, because I know you just glossed over it and it seems like it's a big deal for you.
It is a huge deal for me. And I'm listening to everyone. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know that I have a whole big thing extra to say. However, I will say one of the things that I work in and coach around is helping people remember who they are as a soul. So I do sessions with my clients called Soul Realignment, where I dive into the Akashic records and help them remember, because these are things we already know. We've just been programmed to forget a lot. Help them to remember who they are and why they are here on this planet at this time. So then when we figure out, the soul level pieces, then we step into, okay, as a human, taking all of the programming that we've been told by our parents, by the people that we are around, by our workplaces, etc. Who are you, right? So that question is that first authenticity checkbox is who are you? Who are you outside of all of that? Like if you just had to create the life you wanted that made you so happy and you felt so fulfilled and so just in your flow, who is that? The next piece past that then is that embodiment piece, which Jarin kind of touched on. The embodiment of being who you are authentically is also a journey, because I think many people actually know who they are, but they don't want to talk about it, or they don't want to step into that avatar because, oh, that's kind of crazy. And people might think I'm crazy if I share that, right? And I think more and more, thankfully, because the frequency of the planet is moving so quickly upward, that more people are getting that courage code to start to step in and say, you know what, this is who I am. And I know that if you are my people, you'll stay. And if you're not, I'm learning the art of surrender as well. And I know that the people around me will either stay if they're authentically for me, or I'll find a new tribe.
Well, for not adding anything to it, you did phenomenal. Thank you. Robert.
I gotta share something with you real quick, guys. The reason that I'm doing SBG News is because I asked myself that question about being authentic back in 2020 when everything started to hit the fan around here. And I said, for the longest time, I had been one of these people who was getting along with everyone and trying, everyone was need to like me, but I really wasn't sharing my beliefs and my views, and I wasn't doing a lot of that, except in the business world. In the business world, I did that, but not beyond. And then when everything started happening in 2020, I literally asked this question: am I being authentic if I'm not allowing people to know where I really stand on probably the most important topics is politics, religion, right? Those kind of things, because it defines us who we are. And I thought, it's like, no, I'm not being authentic. So I started to share it, and it was scary at first. Brittany, to your point, exactly, it was very scary at first because I knew I would lose people. I lost family members, I lost friends, I lost customers who were shocked that I held these beliefs. I had no idea. But to come clean, to be authentic, the relationships that I've been creating ever since have been incredible. Lewis is just one of many, and he's probably the top example from that perspective of, I know exactly where he stands. He knows exactly where I stand. We may not have to agree on everything, but there's an incredible bonding and incredible level of respect there between us. And it's going to be a lifelong friendship. There's no question. So that authenticity piece, get over the fear, just start speaking your piece, speaking who you are, step up, and it makes a big difference.
It does.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, do you have questions for the panel?
I always have questions for the panel.
I know you do.
Let's talk about, let's get into this taking your power back idea, because this is really the key element here for a lot of people. I go back to The Wizard of Oz. I remember as a kid watching that movie. They played it once a year, right? And I remember watching it every time. And there was always that one line: you had the power all along. Remember that? So we kind of forgot that we have the power, and we keep talking about it. We, the people, have all the power. We, the people, have all the power. But I'd like each of us to go into it a little deeper and really understand what does it mean by we have the power? I'm going to start with Brittany on this one. Ladies first.
Thank you. I love that. So there's so many different, avenues to answer this question. I believe that taking your power back and really understanding that we have the power, the first piece is remembering that we are limitless beings, that we do create our reality in many, many ways. And when we step into the embodiment of who we are, that affects and ripples out to every other piece in our life, right? And I know for me, so I grew up in pageantry and theater and dance. I was Miss Indiana. I did all the things. And I remember feeling these levels of what society said was powerful, right? And there was always this missing piece for me. I'm like, there's just something more. Like, this is great. I get, the crown, the banner, all of these accolades. But at the end of the day, like, there's still something missing. And now, as I've gone through my journey, the missing piece was I was stepping into everyone else's avatar. And yes, I might have gotten far in business and all of this, but that wasn't fully me. So now, taking my power back in my own space is being able to step on these stages with I am limitless in my own stages and sharing and speaking my experiences to help ignite that spark in other people. That's like, if you feel like you're missing something, like we're not fully hitting the mark, that's kind of a cue for me with anyone to be like, well, where are you out of alignment? Like, where are you out of authenticity? Where can you take your power back?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Don, how about you?
Let's see. Yeah. There's a lot to taking your power. I think one thing that's really important is to eliminate blame and shoulds and shouldn't. Understand that the bad news is you're responsible for your life. The good news is you're responsible for your life. So, I think once we, clear off our emotional baggage, dysfunctional belief systems, and, unhealthy program, that's a process in itself. But then I think the next step is not blaming anything, just realizing that, there's really no good and bad. Things just are what they are, and learn what you learn and move on. And I know in my life, and I'm sure probably all of you guys, everybody I've ever worked with or known, is I've learned a hell of a lot more from things that looked horrible than from things that looked wonderful. So I think that's really where we learn. Tolkien, the writer Tolkien, I think is the one that coined the term eucatastrophic experience, good catastrophe. So, whatever happens is neither good nor bad. It depends on how we look at it. If we look at it in a positive, growing way, then we're in our power. If we don't, then we're victims.
Very good. Very true. I'm going to bring Lewis in on this one, but first I'm going to go to Greg. Go ahead, Greg.
All right, Robert, I know you're a big Tony Robbins guy. You trained under Tony Robbins, so great stuff there. And I want to talk about motivational speakers. We go to these events and we get all pumped up. We get our power, right? We feel great. And then we have the weekend high. And as we get back to work in our lives and all the programs and the loops, we lose it. We lose everything we were going to go out there and fill our dreams with. And so, taking our power back is really a step towards really committing to you. And we have to subconsciously commit to that too. And we teach all the time on School of Om, our other show on Wednesday nights, Jedi training. It's training the mind to be strong and disciplined. I know discipline's a weird word, but we like spiritual discipline because it's steps towards doing something that's really great for yourself. If we're not disciplined, we will get out of line. We will stop meditating. We will stop doing the practices, and we'll go right back to doing the things that we were doing before and go, why am I not getting anywheres? Why am I not getting the power of who I truly am? And we get frustrated. And then frustration comes scarcity, fear, stress, anxiety, all of these things that invade us. So when we take responsibility for ourselves, and we go to one of these events or stuff like that, we get all charged up. It's our responsibility to take the steps forward, even if they're little steps, every day to get to the point where we become powerful in the subconscious, especially. So before bed, in the morning time, great times to get into the subconscious, to train it a little bit, to get into the right mindset, positive mindset. If we spill our coffee in the morning, doesn't mean the rest of the day's over. You know, it's a bad day now because I spilled my coffee. A lot of people do that. They get right into the bad mindset because they have bad thing after bad thing after bad thing happen. And as Don said, sometimes it looks a little messy, but you're getting some great places if you're in the right mindset. So we have to make a little mess to get to that power. So that's where I got it.
You got it, Greg. Absolutely. Totally agree. Jarin, how about you? How do we take our power back, my friend?
Well, Robert, I would say first is recognizing, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We're not having spiritual experiences. That's how we much of the species kind of views it. Oh, I had a spiritual experience. No, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And so the remote control of your mind, your body, your emotions, and out into the field of reality, which we view as reality, which is the Maya or illusion, okay, in truth, we perceive it to be real, but really it's an illusion, is affected from our inner self, our true self. And our true self can update and enhance, reestablish our intention, yes, but also the way in which we think, which we would call our karma. Karma would be how you think, not necessarily what you think, but how you think. The way in which you view life, your processing speed of how you view reality can come to you. Some of us may talk more about the quantum reality that's starting to become more in the talk nowadays. And recognizing that as you update your mirror will shift. It's not waiting for the external to change for you to have a different life. And so in that, I believe we're in this realm for a little bit of spiritual training, and it's challenging. It's challenging in the sense that you have your own individual reality bubble. Okay, I'll call that your source field. It's emanating from you. You want to call it your soul or your spirit. And then you have the collective reality. And the collective reality is a little more set. And it has a little more herd mentality, right? That might go towards more of the opposite of what an awakening being would be thinking like or behaving like. And it's easy to want to go there. It's also challenging in that you'll be met with force when you apply force, right? And so we recognize now, summing it up, that, hey, there's higher cosmic principles for me to live by, that the field will support me. But to do that, I have to upgrade the way that I think, the way that I feel, the way that I view reality. And then, summing it up, with a Star Wars reference is the Force, and you recognize the force within and how to harness that force in the field around you so that you take your power back in the divine way of which you can influence your reality instead of the egoic, forceful, vengeance, aggression, competition way that many try to climb the ladder. And that used to work, but that's not going to work anymore. And what's going to work, and I'm going back to the beginning, is that authenticity. That authentic being will continue to rise to the top. Even visible leaders will continue to rise to the top that are authentic. And you will watch what is manipulative or fake fall away. So take your power back by being authentic, recognizing that life is for you, and then learning, as Greg said, a little Jedi training to, how do I think a little differently? How do I feel a little differently? Maybe what I've been trained in isn't the way that the cosmos actually operates. And thankfully, we're in this great awakening where we're remembering our gifts and that we came here for a little bit of training. But the training means you can't just go with the herd. The training means you have to follow your own unique hero's journey and then align with others that also will be your power, your mastermind, your like-minded that was spoken of earlier, that can help you as you progress and actually quantumly enhance you as you move forward.
You really did a great job there. I'm gonna take 3 words out of what you said, and really it is embrace the challenge. And I know I see Lewis doing that a lot. Lewis, you're on screen right now, and I want to ask you that same question because we always talk, you and I, about taking back our power, taking back our power. Mm-hmm. I think when we talk about it, it's more pragmatic. Getting involved with elections and doing this and this and we've got this kind of higher level thinking here that we're talking about today. What can you add?
Yeah. Well, ultimately, the word choice comes to mind is we have a choice how we react and respond to anything universally. And that reaction and that response dictates what your outcome is going to be. So if you want your outcome to change, you choose what response or reaction that you have to events in your life. Because ultimately, we are completely accountable. That doesn't mean we're always responsible. Like if somebody runs over our dog, unfortunately, we're not responsible for running over him, but we may be accountable because we didn't check up on him and make sure the gate was locked, right? So we're always accountable for what results we have in your life. If you are hospitalized, is that tragic? Is that a bad thing? Or could that be an opportunity where you can really dive into self and see how you can become a better person in that week or 2 weeks that you're laid up? These are choices. We have a choice whether we want to ride the highest highs and drop to the lowest lows, or kind of just stay even keel and understand through recognizing that we have everything it takes. Carol said something I thought was really great in here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. She says, for her, take your power back, meaning growing a backbone to stand in pride and dignity for that beautiful little girl or boy inside. And that's gorgeous. That's Carol Maureen Friesen, and she actually is a life coach, and she reads the body like nobody I've ever met. But this is a beautiful, beautiful topic. Robert, I don't know if you want to add into here, and then we're going to go on to Don. I have a question for him directly.
Yeah, we can jump on to Don. That's fine. Good job.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Don. Milton, I know that you teach actual tools that people can do with themselves in order to take their power back. And I would love for you to dive into what you do in your background, and specifically, even if you want to take some time, as long as you need, to teach people some of your techniques. I know they're highly accessible, and I appreciate you enlightening us with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Liz. Basically, coming from a background in theoretical mathematics and then getting into the business world, which seems totally different. And then getting into, as a result of, some big traumas in my life around the early 90s, put me on a whole different path of how I think about things. I mean, I had, for the first time in my life in 1992, as a result of having worked with a coach and some, following some exercises he gave me, some of which I didn't understand. I think that's part of a good coach. He can, see things that will help you, but as a student, you have to trust and be willing to do things that don't make sense to you. So as a result of working with that guy, I had, in the spring of 1992, I had a direct contact. I'll use the term God. It has a lot of baggage, but I had a direct contact and experience that there was a power beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, and that if you could tap into that's where the real joy, authenticity, power of life came. So I had that realization in 1992. When I have a realization or a thought about something, I want to learn how to do it. So, I spent from probably the early 90s to 2006, 7, 8, I probably had spent over $100,000, 20,000 hours just diving deep into, we call it personal growth, spiritual growth, spending money as a client with people, spending money to learn different techniques, never imagining that I would do it. I mean, I was, real estate was my business. So that's a whole nother story. But as a result of that experience in 1992, about having a totally different perspective, what life was about, it put me on this path. And then I had an experience in 2003 that basically where God said, okay, Don, you need to do this full time. And Don said, what? How am I going to make a living? I'm doing really well in real estate. I've got a system. I got clients. I said, I tell you what, God, as soon as you build this business up enough to where I feel like I can sustain myself, then I'll do it. Of course, you know what you do when you argue with that power. So I did that dance for 2 years, and my business would go up and down, up and down. And I knew what I was doing. I knew that, you know, I had to jump off the cliff, that I just had to trust. So I did. And, you know, for me, Lewis, when I'm working with clients, it's about what kind of things can I share with them or get them to do that are going to be effective, relatively quick, and permanent, and how easy is it to teach them? Because I've learned a number of techniques that are very effective, but you really can't teach them to people, or, you know, if you try to, it's very difficult. So that's kind of what I've looked for. And over the years, you know, I've studied a lot of different things. I've tried a lot of different things as a client and as a, you know, being trained in it. And I've sort of boiled the core of it as far as dealing with people's life issues, emotional issues, to four main things. One is emotional freedom technique, EFT, tapping. A lot of people probably heard of that. The other is a deeper form of EFT, which really shocked me when I learned it about 10 years ago, called matrix reimprinting. The third is a technique called tapas acupressure technique. And then the fourth is the Byron Katie work, which many of you may have heard of. So the first three are basically techniques that allow you to fairly quickly, I mean, you know, I've got a 12-week program that's pretty intense. And in that program, you know, people, if they do their work, they pretty much clear off, you know, 95% or more of their past emotional baggage, and learn how to change their thinking and their belief system so they don't create more going forward. So those three techniques, EFT, matrix reimprinting, tapas acupressure, are really good for those type of things. And then the Byron Katie work is more of a technique, a questioning technique about how you think about things. This should be this should be that. It teaches a person to not judge events as good or bad. It teaches a person in the gut. I mean, it's a process, but you know, if you work at it, it's just like, you know, practicing anything. It becomes automatic. So you don't, you know, something doesn't happen and you don't think good, bad. You just observe it. And her basic deal, Byron Katie, her basic philosophy is that when we argue with reality, we only lose 100% of the time. So it's about, you know, it's about accepting. Now, a lot of people, when they hear this, they think, well, that's horrible. I can't. No, accepting something as it is doesn't mean you approve of it or you don't want to change it. It just, because think about it, whenever you have something's not like you think it should be, then you, as far as I know, anytime your thought is different from reality, there's one or more negative emotions connected to it. Anger, anxiety, fear, whatever. And as we all know, every time you have negative emotions, it's a toxin in your system. It affects your immune system. It affects everything. So those four components allow a person, and I can teach clients all of those things fairly quickly. I mean, like with EFT, you can teach somebody basic EFT in 15 minutes. And, you know, people can have, like, I've had people, Lewis, that have had some kind of issue they've dealt with for 10, 15, 20 years. They've done all kinds of things. And in one session, it's gone. Because one of the core deals is that emotions, whether they can be considered pleasant emotions or unpleasant emotions, every emotion, no emotion is caused by an event. The cause of any emotion is how you think about the event.
Yep.
And then what causes you to think about an event a certain way is your belief system. So after doing this for a few years, I came up with the term, and I'm sure it's not original concept, but it was to me, cycle of creation. Your belief system determines how you feel. Your feeling determines your belief system determines how you think. Your thinking determines how you feel. Your feeling determines your behavior, which determines your result, round and round. So yeah, that's kind of the overview of it. And then, I do in my 12-week program, I do incorporate meditation, journaling, certain types of reading, lots of other stuff in the program. But yeah, that's about it. And, depending on how many of you are familiar with EFT? Interesting.
Well, I knew a little until I met you, and then now I know a lot more.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm not going to take any more time, but if we have 10 minutes at some point in the program, I can do a 10-minute demo with EFT.
Yeah.
Basically,
I think we should. Yeah, I think
that's so you can be what I'm going to ask for, and I want to keep it kind of simple. I mean, you can use EFT to deal with extreme traumas, all kind of huge situations. But for this demo, what I'm going to ask each, and you be thinking about it, but I'm going to get you to pick one event, not something that's ongoing, but something that happened. It could have happened today, last week, 20 years ago. Doesn't matter when it happened, but one event that when you think about it, it causes some high negative emotions, one or more, high negative emotions. And then we'll go through the process and see what happens.
beautiful. I like it. I love it. In fact, I love anything that we can take action on. Greg, let's talk about your event coming up, because with Jarin and Brittany, because this is phenomenal that you're not just, when you said you're kind of taking it to another level, you're really going deep into a soul level and some of the teachings in order to really help people become their best that they can be. And then I know you're going to do a series after that. So if you can give us an idea of what, in regards to Limitless, will people be able to learn at your event?
Yeah, Lewis, and you're one of the pillars of that event as well. You're coming and you're going to be there in person, and you're very experienced in all of your tours and everything you've done, and we've always enjoyed your passion for what we do, and the word limitless is one of your favorites. So we're really excited about having you there as well. But when we talk about getting limitless, so when we look at the world that's around us, and we look at what causes fear, what causes all kinds of misinterpretations of everything, we look at the word apocalypse, right? And when we look at that word, the first thing that comes to mind is disaster and the world's over and all these things. But really, it's from Greek, and it means pull the lid off of something. So we want to pull the lid off of something. And what we're doing is a revolution on stage and in workshops of doing stuff that's going to change people's lives in a very deep way. So I know, Tony Robbins does his thing, and other, people do their thing, but we have our thing, and it's very spiritual based. It's got a lot of experience behind it and a lot of different varieties with the three of us, and including Lewis with the four of us, so much variety there. And we look to do visioning your life and healing wounds, building your chi energy, learning breathing techniques, breaking through your limitations, magnifying abundance in your life, those type of things. And when we look at the way we run School of Om, when we first brought on, Emily put us together. She's the other co-host on School of Om. She put me and Jarin together. She recruited us and said, hey, listen, let's put together a program. She was not a person that did a lot of meditation or really a lot of spirituality. But over the years we've had her on the show with us, she's learned a great deal and understood that going through a spiritual transformation doesn't have to be hard or painful. It can also be a lot of fun. And what me and Jarin bring is imagination and fun and varieties of tools. Every single week, you're getting a different show and a different modality, a different tool, a chanting tool, an imagination of riding dragons, all these things to open up our real spiritual heart. And when we do these fun adventures in our imaginations, our imagination is probably one of our most powerful superpowers we have. We don't realize how powerful the imagination is. Imagination is your real reality. And it's hard to imagine that because we live in this 3D structure, probably in this simulation. I'll say it. And when we do, we get all caught up in the little details of life. And we get all tripped up over the stupidest little things. And as Don brought up, emotions, right? We attach emotions to every term and word and step of our life. And a lot of it is negative. We carry a lot of negativity. So really what we want to bring with this I Am Limitless tour is you to step into your power, to step into who you truly are, your authenticity, and to now take that, carry it with you forward, and really ripple it out to all communities around you. So we want this to be a worldwide Woodstock of energy out there. So that's what we're looking to do at the I Am Limitless event in Tampa, Florida coming up, but also on our tour as we keep going here.
And I'm not sure, but while you're talking, I think Robert's probably displaying your information on the screen for Dawn and the three of you. I'm excited to fly out there. I was asked. I'm very gracious that you asked me to come on the Friday before, and hopefully I can add some value talking about Limitless, maybe failing forward. We'll find out. So let's go to you, Renee, real quick. I'm sorry, Brittany Renee, for a second. What I hear a lot from this panel, which I just love, it's not just education, it's application over education. And I've always believed in more applied science than theoretical or educational science to me. And this is where the direction I see you're going, which is for me personally, I'm just going to talk personally. It's very, very attractive because I believe it's so powerful. And I know what Don's going to do later is the same. So Brittany, what could you go into in regards to the application that people can look forward to? And if anything you can teach them now, we're open to it also.
Beautiful, beautiful question. So a big piece that I am bringing into the I Am Limitless tour is going to be the embodiment piece. It's going to be really breaking through belief systems. And I know all of us are going to be really speaking on similar topics and bringing our own activations and codes and triggers to awakening at a deeper level. But belief systems, which someone noted on earlier, is something that is so important to figure out. Like, what are your belief systems? And in order for you to step into authenticity, for you to step into that ultimate embodiment of that best avatar, your favorite self, your higher self, whatever word you want to place there, you really have to get really honest and vulnerable about your truth, your operating system. So one of the things that I'll give you guys a quick thing that I run through a lot with my clients, just quick check boxes, okay? So each of us has an operating system, right? It is our mind, it is our brain, whatever you want to call it. These operating systems are programmed, we talked about this earlier, programmed by all sorts of things. So if you were to sit and just do a couple pillars in your life, the first could be money, the next can be relationships, the next can be your relationship with yourself. And write down, what are your beliefs about each of these pillars? And a lot of people will say, well, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to hustle really hard to make money. Only a small amount of people can make a lot of money, right? These are big beliefs around money and abundance. You come into relationships. I have to compromise a lot to be in a successful relationship. I have to make myself smaller so my partner still loves me and I'm not too big and too much, right? Then you go into your relationship with yourself, and maybe you have belief systems that you're overweight, you're not attractive, you are lazy, whatever this might be, right? So getting really clear and precise and in detail as you can around all of the beliefs. And I named off some of the negative ones just because those are ones that we really have to get real about. And then going through and rewiring what you want the reality to be. And so then as you go through, what actually feels really good in your body? Because when we speak things that are negative, our whole system, all of our energy starts to shut down, right? Now, when we allow our mind and our vision to expand and be bigger, we start to actually feel in our body things that feel better. So with me, when I'm in my pillar of money and abundance, I will just sit and over say, money effortlessly flows to me. Money is an energy and it is limitless. And I can tap into that field at any time, right? And I'll go over and over about things that feel good in my body. I deserve wealth. I deserve abundance. When I get into my relationship pillar, I start to unplug and rewire things that are like relationships are hard, or I have to be small, to say, I know that my partnerships and people around me enjoy when I'm big and when I'm loud and when I take up space because I'm being me. Then going into your personal, how do you rewire that one? And that one is really where a lot of people get caught, because we're in this human meat suit, this vessel, and we're like, well, but this is true, quote unquote. And that's the hardest operating system, I think, sometimes to override, but really starting to bring more of that self-love in, right? And realizing that each of us, whether we like it or not, we chose these vessels to be in this lifetime. So getting really precise and detailed with what are my belief systems? Where does the operating system need a rewire? And then when we get all of this kind of rewired, now let's get in that expansion of the mind and just closing your eyes and putting on maybe music that feels really good and stepping in, quite literally, to that avatar of how does that version of me operate? How do they walk into rooms? How are they received by other people? How do they go to the grocery store, right? Little everyday type of things. And then the practice is, every morning before you get into social media or anything, set the day and step into that avatar. This is a super quick version, but expanded version of that will be at I Am Limitless, and really helping you curate the proper frequency for you to be in your authenticity, your alignment, and your embodiment.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. I love shows like this, folks, because it's all about us being the best we can be. So if you're here because you want to take your country back, you have to take yourself back first, right? So this is just brilliant information. Jarin, what do you want to say about what we can learn from you at the Limitless?
Well, I like to start with a self promise and our promise that when you return home from this event, you will witness the seeds you planted rapidly manifest into your life. You will manifest the good, and you will move through some of the challenges that you have that have kept you stuck for a long time. So we're going to be in a field of high energy. And then we're going to be using tools that cause our spirit to shine, direct ourselves into our passions, into our conviction, into our purpose, and vibrate at a higher level. Aside from even what we teach, just by being in the field together with like-minded, amazing people. We have people coming with immense projects that they're engaging, humanitarian projects and huge communities of high technology and, education and wellness centers and things that we've been talking about for a long time that are popping into the field at this time. Amazing people coming. So just that, and who you meet. You may meet something that you've been striving for a long time, someone that fits perfectly in to your dream building. It might be part of your mastermind, So I want to say that value first. And then, the exercises, aside from the intellect, there's good elements to understanding more of the quantum reality and understanding more of how the mind is actually designed to function and how your feeling is your ultimate consciousness and how to vibrate reality into existence, these types of things. But inevitably, it's spirit to heart to mind. And if you can just spend time where you go to the fantasy, if you can spend time where you vibrate at that fantasy and you can feel it, right? This is the domino effect of what I'm saying. Every time that I've invested into myself to go to these events, I've witnessed my reality shift very fast. Many people may call it a quantum leap. So, and then the tools are going to be so much fun. I mean, because some of it is very group interactive. We're going to do quantum sounds. We're going to engage some chants. We're going to feel what that feels like in our body and where our consciousness goes. And as I mentioned, we're going to be doing some of the cosmic human design system for those who are really interested in how does my body uniquely interface with the field. See, some of us, like me, I'm a man. Everybody here knows I can't have a baby. I can't. I have my part.
Come on.
I'm sure, Lewis. I'm very sure. Many
man,
people
you're ruining it for everybody.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Well, we can fantasize about that, but within my
no, thank you.
Within my energetic DNA and my DNA, I'm not built for that. So I say that as an extreme example for many of us are trying to do things or operate in ways we're not designed to. And we're bumping up against friction, resistance, wasted energy, failure, unnecessary, let's say not the good kind, because we're not being ourselves and we're not engaging the environment the way that we're actually uniquely designed to. Mm-hmm. And so that is really of benefit to people that are just on this, maybe not even heard of human design yet. And so, for today, we won't talk too much about it, but there's incredible value also for your teams, your people around you, and in functioning in mastermind so that we can move more towards the quantum reality, which is all about, vibrating authentically, moving forward in the direction of your dreams. Many of us are stuck. Many of us are fantasizing and waiting for us to be saved. We're not about that. There is no savior. You are your own savior, and you need to be it, and you need to act on it, and you need to live it, as well as learn some fundamental tools that we might not have been taught as a child, these spells of worrying about so much strategy and how and what's the most complex way of which I can, arrive at being smarter instead of engaging innate powers, innate divine abilities you have. See, God, the spirit, the source, creator, your divinity, however you want to look at the cosmos itself, has granted you a gift to be here at this time, at this special time where we're climbing the stairway to heaven, which means bumps and bruises at times, but to more of what we really are capable of. And it's endowed you with abilities that you're now remembering that is to engage at this special time to help humanity out. And yes, you can watch the news, you can see all the things going on, and it's good to be aware. But like Lewis said, inevitably, you're the one responsible for you. You're the one that is the one that decides your destiny. You do. Otherwise, you're living in fate. So we want to have destiny points so we can have clarity. This is where I'm going. This is who I am. This is where I wish to rise to. And I'm going to move in that direction. I'm going to bring in divinity. I'm going to trust the process, but I'm going to walk through that fire. And so that in a nutshell is to say, you will go home and your life will be different than when you came. And I personally, and I know we guarantee our part in that. And then it's up to you of what you do with it.
Excellent. Superb. Thank you, Jarin. Greg, we're going to get to Dawn in just a second. I know there's people in the chat that can't wait for an EFT session. It will be short, and Dawn will keep it short, but still it's going to be very powerful. But before
unless all your listeners can actually participate.
No, I was gonna say that. Thank you, Dawn. That guys, will be an interactive session where you can make a difference in your own life right here in the next few minutes. So I think this is very powerful. Greg, real quick, I'm very happy when you told me the price of your event, because it is to me open arms welcoming, but at the same time, if you don't have skin in the game, people are not going to work through what they need to work with to become the best that they can be, in my opinion. And of course, we all know, nobody knows more than me how much money these events cost. I know I don't know, like $120,000 in the hole, but I'm so happy that I did 77 True Tours regardless. and I wouldn't change it for anything because of the impact that we can make by doing something like this. And you're taking it to another level. So can we talk about the pricing structure really quick? Because I'm very impressed with what you guys came up with.
Yeah, so we really believe in community, and we really believe in bringing people together in family of light way. Your audience, our audience, Brittany's audience, we all have an understanding that we want a different world. We want a new earth, right? We want that feeling of the new earth. And we want to gather together. You know that they don't want us together. They want to separate us 6 feet apart, mask up, blah, 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 right? We know all that. So we came up with was the more the merrier package. So if you're just going to come by yourself, there's a certain set price. We try to make it very reasonable for everybody. If you bring 2 people, you get a discount. So if 2 of you come, you get a discount for the 2 of you. If 3 of you come, you get an even bigger discount. And then if 4 of you come, if you come in a pack of 4, a huge discount for the 4 of you to come. So we try to structure it to get more to come. And the more you get gathered together and travel together, and I mean, you could come from different parts of the earth and meet in Florida, but you may want to stay together, all that stuff. It creates community. It creates lifelong friendships. It creates powerful people that believe in the same things and really want to empower everybody around them. Not just an ego thing of empowering myself, but actually empowering an entire group and a community. And that's what we love about it. And that's why we structured it the way we did with the price format.
Can we reveal any of the prices here? Something was $17.
Yeah. So we are going to stream the Friday night event.
Right.
So that is what is going to be for you to have a pay-per-view to watch what we're doing on stage for the entire evening there on Friday. Let me just pull up the pricing format so I get it right. And then if you can make it in person, just for the event alone, Friday night would be $99. Okay. But if you want to go to the weekend pass, you want to be there all day Saturday for our workshops, which is going to be Brittany, Jarin, myself. Maybe we'll get Lewis involved a little bit. I'll pull him out there on the field with me, and we'll do some amazing things with the people, because I'm going to be actually bringing you guys through physical stuff. You're going to be doing chanting. You're going to be doing types of movements and breathing along with other kinds of activities. So you guys are going to be moving and being outside. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful day out, which I anticipate. So if you do the all day Saturday event, then Friday becomes included. So the all weekend pass for one person is $555. For a weekend pass of 2 people, it's $777. So a huge difference in price there. A weekend pass for 3 people would be $999. And then a weekend pass for 4, 1111. Of course, angel numbers with all of those. So we're really looking forward to everybody joining us, and we would love it for you guys to spend the entire weekend with us. And we probably are going to be doing an after party, Lewis, on Saturday night. So we'll get everybody together, do an after party. And then we'll see, maybe even a Sunday morning thing, perhaps. So we'll see how the weekend goes and what people want to do. But we're really looking forward to spending time with in person, in Aura Field with everybody. But if you can't make it, I understand. The virtual ticket is available for $17 for Friday night to watch.
Beautiful. Awesome. All right, Robert, what you got for us?
Oh, Lewis, look at this. Look at this before and after photo on the screen.
Oh,
Isn't this amazing?
yes.
So what did she do? Makeup, right? Somebody posted that. I posted this in Telegram. They said, "Oh, she's using makeup," or they changed the lighting. And I think she just was spraying herself, right? That's all she was doing. Put a little bit of spray on here.
Right.
And how about this lady here? This is really amazing. You look at this one here. She swishes and sprays twice a day, 65, and just getting better. Look at that. January through August. What a big difference. That's just 8 months. Incredible. So what are we talking about, folks? We're talking about Neumi Skin. Neumi Skin is why Lewis looks like he's 27 now. I don't know. He's getting younger. Every day he's looking better.
And I'm 127, so it's really
But
amazing.
you look so much better. It's a glutathione spray. Glutathione, obviously the master antioxidant if taken internally. This one you spray externally. It's for your skin. And a lot of ladies we know are foregoing makeup now because their pores are getting tighter. Their skin is brightening. Some of the dark spots are going away. All the things that they would normally use makeup for, they no longer need makeup. So on the inside, you have the Neumi NutraSwish, and on the outside you have the Neumi Skin, and these two products together are phenomenal, as you can see on the screen. That is just unbelievable, the change there. So you can find out more about it, just go over to renegademedia.tv/energy, renegademedia.tv/energy, or you could scan the QR code on your screen right now.
Excellent. Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome, Lewis.
Robert, we're going to get into, I'm excited with Don's actual application where people can participate watching this. Anything that you want to address or questions before we get into that?
Nope, I think we need to move there because a lot of people are waiting in the chat room with bated breath, waiting to say, how do I get rid of my emotional traumas in 10 minutes or less? This would be a great headline for a sales letter, I tell you.
Yeah, and
Lewis,
Don, we're timing you too, Don.
Yeah.
Lewis,
Make allowance for my
real quick,
accent.
Don. Let me finish up with Greg first. I apologize. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the I Am Limitless group's got to duck out. We all got busy lives. We got a lot going on here.
No worries.
But we'd love to join you, Don. But we're running a little long. So, but thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Lewis.
And right on the screen, guys, it's thebrittanyrenee.com. I am limitless.
/ I am limitless.
Isn't it two E's in the Brittany? Can we fix that, Robert?
Yes, it is.
It's two E's, THEE, guys. Just so if you're reading this, it's THEE, BrittanyRenee.com / I am limitless.
Good catch, Lewis. That's
I would've never got that.
Jinx.
There you go.
So that's all right. We'll fix that. We'll fix that live, and then we'll be ready to go, guys. And we'll re-put it up at the screen at the end. Appreciate all three of you being here.
Thank you
very
all.
much, and thank you. And I know we'll talk soon, and then I'll see you in Florida.
Thank you so much.
Great to see you all.
later.
Thank you. Thank you.
In Florida.
Bye-bye. All right.
All
That was
right.
fantastic. Don, people are very excited about what you're going to bring to the table right now. And I know you don't mind being set up like that because you always deliver. So let's see if we can do this in 10 minutes or less. That's the challenge, actually.
All right, let's go. Are you ready for me?
We are ready.
All right, first of all, if you have a pencil and paper handy, that's good. If not, that's okay. Because we rate emotions from 0 to 10. 10 being the worst, 0 being nothing. So here's what we're going to do before we get into the emotional part. You're going to light tapping on acupressure points, just like you would thump on a table. Okay, so follow me with the points. Use your dominant hand. So this is the first point. Second point, just follow me. Third point, beside your eye, under your nose, under your lip, under your arm, top of your head. Those are the points. Gonna go through them again. Just follow me. I'm not gonna talk, but just follow me.
And for you that don't know, that Robert and I are doing this in the background at the exact same time.
Okay, so that's the points. So now I want everyone to pick one event that when you think about it, brings up one or more strong negative emotions. When you get the event, write down the feelings, number each one from 0 to 10. I'm going to give people a moment to do that. All right, now I need a volunteer, I guess Lewis or Robert, either one. Now here's the deal about this. It's really cool. Since events don't cause the feelings, it's your thinking. I don't even need to know your event. But I'd like one of you to volunteer so I can, go through it and you can tell me your numbers. So who wants to go with it?
Absolutely. So I'll do one. Something I've been struggling with.
All right, wait a minute, Lewis. I don't want to know the event. What I want to know is when you think about the event, give me your feelings and a number for each one.
Frustration
And I want everybody else write down your feelings and number them.
Yep. And I am writing this down, folks. So
All right, frustration.
frustration,
Give me a number.
pissed off, number 6.5.
All right, wait. Frustration is what?
Frustration and pissed off.
Well, let's take one. So they're separate. Frustration is
Frustration,
what's the number?
6.5.
All right, pissed off. What's the number?
Actually, I'm sorry. I had those reversed. It's 8.5 on frustration and 6.5 on pissed off.
All right, anything else?
Disappointed,
All right, number.
about 7.
Anything else?
I think that's good enough. We got it.
All right, so everybody start with your whatever your highest emotion is. I want you to focus on that. Everybody that's doing this. And here's another cool thing. Regardless of what your feelings are, everybody's going to say the same words that I'm saying with Lewis. It's called borrowing benefits. So Lewis, so everybody put up your hand, start tapping. All right, Lewis, say the words with me. Even though I'm really frustrated,
Even though I'm really frustrated,
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept myself.
Everybody say the same words to yourself. Even though I'm really frustrated,
Even though I'm really frustrated,
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Even though I'm really frustrated,
Even though I'm really frustrated,
I'm a good person.
I'm a good person.
And I know that this feeling is not caused by the situation.
I know this feeling is not caused by the situation.
It's caused by my thinking.
It's caused by my thinking.
I'm arguing with reality.
I'm arguing with reality.
And I only lose 100% of the times when I argue with reality.
I only lose 100% of the time when I argue with reality.
I'm really a gambling man.
I'm really a gambling man.
Okay, frustration. Frustration.
Frustration. Frustration.
Frustration.
Frustration.
Frustration.
Frustration.
I could have peace.
I could have peace.
My feeling is a choice.
My feeling is a choice.
I choose frustration
I choose frustration
because I like to suffer.
because I like to suffer.
Maybe somebody will feel sorry for me.
Maybe somebody will feel sorry for me.
I must be getting some benefit from it
I must be getting some benefit from it
because it's a not emotional toxin for me.
because this is an emotional toxin for me.
It's my choice.
It's my choice.
I choose frustration.
I choose frustration.
But Lewis, you can have peace.
But I can have peace.
No, I want frustration.
No, I want frustration.
I love to suffer.
I love to suffer.
I like for other people to see me suffer.
I like for other people to see me suffer.
I get some benefit out of that.
I get some benefit out of that.
I won't tell anybody though.
I won't tell anybody though.
All right. Now I want everybody, like for whatever emotion you tapped on, tune into that again and write down a number. Now, Lewis, for you, tell me where you are with frustration.
Like a 3 now or less.
All right. So whatever. Now, when I ask for a number, something pops in your head. I don't want you to analyze it.
Right.
So sometimes people will say, "Man, it can't go down that fast." So we'll go with the 3. All right. Pissed off. Give me a number.
2,
Disappointed.
3,
All right. Now, the next time you go with the highest. So we got 2 of them are the highest. So let's go again. And everybody that's doing this, tap on whatever your highest one is. And here again, say the same words that I'm saying with Lewis. All right, Lewis, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Even though I'm still frustrated
Even though I'm still frustrated
and disappointed
and disappointed
and arguing with reality,
and arguing with reality,
because it sure should be different.
because it sure should be different.
I got a pile of should about up to my ankles now.
I got a pile of should about up to my ankles now.
And if this keeps going on,
If this keeps going on,
it'll be up to my knees by tomorrow morning.
be up to my knees by tomorrow morning.
And people won't be around me, don't want to be around me.
And people don't want to be around me.
So even though I'm choosing to carry this baggage,
Even though I'm choosing to carry this baggage,
I'm a good person.
I'm a good person.
Okay, between your eyes. Remaining baggage.
Remaining baggage.
Remaining baggage.
Remaining baggage.
remaining baggage.
remaining baggage.
I choose to carry it.
I choose to carry it.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I know it's a choice.
I know it's a choice.
I don't want to be responsible for these feelings.
I don't want to be responsible for these feelings.
I want somebody else to be responsible. I want them to change so I can feel better.
I want somebody else to change so I can feel better.
That's how I take my power back.
That's how I take my power back.
There's a lot of power in blaming other people or situations.
There's a lot of power in blaming other people and situations.
I choose peace.
I choose peace.
I choose love.
I choose love.
I choose freedom.
I choose freedom.
I can let it go right now.
I can let it go right now.
My choice.
My choice.
All right. So tune in again to the situation and tell me what feelings. Give me a number on the frustration.
I'm not feeling frustrated at all.
Pissed off
Nope, not at all.
and disappointed.
Nope.
All right. Now, Robert, tell me how you did on yours. Just give me some numbers where you went from to.
Well, I went from a 9 on fear down to about a 1. So that really dropped.
Okay.
And depression went from a 7 to about a 2.
All right. So people, and I'll address depression in just a minute.
Mhm.
So ask people on that did it to just put what they went from to. They don't
Yeah.
have to give any emotions. Just
So
get a
guys
little
in the
feedback.
in the chat now, I know we get about 5 to 8 times more people after the recording, but you could also put it in the comments section. But for now, if you're live, put it in the chat. What number were you, and what number are you now?
and how they like the experience.
And if you like the experience, or how much you
You're
like.
right. You're right, Lewis. People can listen to the replay and go through the process themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So Robert, on depression, that's sort of a big one.
Mhm.
And any people, when I've worked with people that had what they call depression, that's not really an emotion itself. I've always found that the underlying things to deal with are low self-esteem, guilt, anger. So when I'm dealing with people that really have depression, then we go for the underlying stuff. But probably when you were tuned in, were you depressed about a particular situation?
The situation that caused the depression, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, it didn't cause it. You're thinking
You're
caused
thinking it, right.
But anyhow, probably that was a little different than chronic depression,
Right.
or even okay. Anyhow, so did I come under 10 minutes?
Oh yeah, I'm not timing you for real. I was just messing around. You did fantastic though. Very valuable. People are loving the experience. Super helpful. I'm going to redo it later. Looking forward to redoing this. Excellent, Don. Wow. Just it goes on and on and on. And one of my favorites from Joey, I had the same experience. He said he went from 8 to zip after laughing, because you can laugh at yourself during this, and I know that's part of the twist that you add in there, which I think is very powerful.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this is literally you could have hundreds of people on a call like this, and everybody could get better. And there's other techniques that everybody can do at the same time. And then beyond that, you could take the replay, and the only thing that people couldn't do on a replay is ask questions. But other than that, it's like you could do a group program, and it just, you could have it up there forever. People could just tune in and go through. Anyhow, it's pretty
Beautiful.
exciting.
Yes.
It's pretty exciting in the power of the fact that you can do a lot of these things in groups and remotely. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. And it's guys, we want to bring value to you. Clearly, Don and our other guests brought value today, which is fantastic. Don, where can we find you, or where would you direct us best, so if somebody can find you and get involved in your programs, learn more, whatever it may be?
Yeah. Well, here's probably the best thing I would suggest for a starter for anybody that's really interested, because I'm all about people having experiences. Okay. So my main website is donmilton.net. Okay. On that website, there's a tab that says Do It Yourself EFT Videos. I created 17 different videos. They're 15 to 20-minute videos that deal with a variety of issues: anger, anxiety, grief, phobias, pain, mild addictions. I've had people end a 20-year cigarette addiction, 2-pack a day cigarette addiction, by using a video. I've had people that eliminated. I mean, it works so fast because you're changing your thinking. So I would suggest that people go to the website, donmilton.net, click on the tab for do-it-yourself EFT videos, pick out one video that addresses some issue that you have. They're $29. You get once you order it, within 15 minutes, you get a digital download of that video plus a bonus package. The bonus package, one of the things in the bonus package is the original about 80-page EFT manual written by Gary Craig, who developed this 30 years ago. It goes into a lot of detail about EFT, how to use it different ways, different techniques of it, plus some case studies. Now you can start using the video, right? What I would suggest is that as soon as you get the video, literally what we just did here, you can basically, while you're listening to the video, you can go through it. And most people, after they've been through it 2 or 3 times, it's so simple to use on your own. And anybody that's ever used the video that I've heard from, within a week, they have amazing experiences. It's like, how could this feeling go so quickly? Or how could this headache disappear? Or whatever. So that the videos, you're going to have some experience. And, over the 30 days, I would encourage you to read through the manual. One other thing I would encourage, there's a book tab section there. Several years ago, I published this book that I had clients, kept saying, write a book, because nobody knows about this stuff. So in the book, that's on Amazon, Living from the Inside Out, okay, $14. So for less than $50, you can get some valuable material, the video, the bonus material, start having some experiences. The book goes into some detail about my journey to get into this, and it explains in detail every technique that I use: EFT, matrix, Tapas acupressure, Byron Katie, journaling, meditation. In the back of the book is a resource page for further information, reading, websites. So, if you're really serious about getting involved in, bumping up your game for less than $50, that's what I would encourage. And I would say in a 30-day period, do the tapping at least 15 or 20 minutes a day. You can do more if you want to. It's so simple. But during that 30 days, read the EFT manual and read my book. Yes. And I think you'll learn. And if people want to work with me, I've got a contact thing on my website.
Excellent. Thank you, Don. This is donmilton.net. Go to donmilton.net. Phenomenal information. What I love is you physically are teaching people the tools that they can take their power back. And that's what this is all about. Don, appreciate your time here today. We'll be in touch. I know Robert and I will feature you on other programs we're doing in the future. I love it. This is applied science, and this is very, very exciting for me. Real quick, folks, thank you, Don. I appreciate you, by the way.
And thank you guys for the opportunity.
Thank you, Don.
Oh, appreciate it. And folks, before we let you go, let's bring back up the website for the Limitless event, if you can, Robert. That's the BrittanyRenee.com/I am limitless. If I remembered it properly. Did I get it, Robert?
You did a great job there, Lewis. Yeah, let me put it across both our faces here. Here we go.
There we go.
Two E's, the BrittanyRenee.com.
Renee.com. And you guys will absolutely love that. I will be at the events Friday speaking. It looks like I might do something Saturday also. My wife is very excited to attend the event to learn ourselves. So you're very clear about this, guys. Robert and I are getting zero out of promoting either one of these with DonMilton.net or the Limitless Tour. We're bringing it to you because we think these tools, to be the best we can be, are extraordinarily helpful, right? And my wife and I are coming out of our pocket to travel to Florida just to be a part of this. So just so you know, that's how important it is for Robert and I, that we're not asking for anything. We don't get any kickback, nothing whatsoever. We just want to have the best for the people, our audience, because you deserve the best. So that's what this is for. Robert, any final words?
Now you tell me, after we've done the promotion.
I know.
I really got to start showing up to the meetings, Lewis. I promise. Next time I'll show up. I'll be there. I'll take notes even. I want to share one quick video with you. I want your opinion on this because I love it.
Let me cut you off,
Okay.
and it's my fault. I
Okay.
apologize. People are asking for the date of the Limitless event, and I believe it's February 16th and 17th. I'm checking my calendar right now, and it's in Tampa, Florida. But you also be able to view Friday online. Yes, February 16th and 17th in Tampa, Florida. Go ahead, Robert.
We didn't have the date on there. Boy, I didn't recognize that. And my head is going into too many different directions today.
You've been busy, I know.
Yeah, well, President Trump came out last night and said something I think made a lot of people happy. Did you hear him talk about CDBCs?
I've been so busy. I've been interviewed all day long on other things. What's going on?
It's real quick.
And tonight, I'm also making another promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. You know about that?
He was kind of surprised, it looked like, in that after that, that everyone really understood what that was about. So it's kind of interesting to see that that come up now. Do you think he's really a big thorn in the side of the WEF after this? I mean, whoa.
So what he just told you guys is we're taking down the Rothschilds.
Yep, that's what he did.
That's the translation.
Yep.
And there's no other way you can cut it. If you do your homework and you find out the central banking system was created by the Rothschilds to control us,
Yep.
right? In regards also to the Fed, which I believe he's already taken down, and we're more on the Treasury right now, but that's a whole deeper discussion. He's taking down the Rothschilds. We need to take down the Rothschilds,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yep.
We've been taking down the Rockefellers a lot lately, right? Which is great. Now it's time to take down the Rothschilds, and we got at least 11 other families to deal with. But we the people, this is what this program's so beautiful about. You take your power back, and then now you can take your country back, because you have the internal fortitude to do so. So, Robert, thank you for that. That's a nice little bonus to today. I did not know.
It was probably the biggest thing that popped up in our feeds yesterday or last night. It was something I really wanted to share because it's like it is good news to see finally. You know, we've been talking about this, and we know CDBCs really translates to digital prison,
Exactly
and
right.
to see that he's going to stand in the breach on that one is fantastic.
Yeah, it's all based on social credit score.
Yeah,
that's
it
what
is.
that's
Yeah.
the whole purpose of the CBDC.
Mm-hmm.
So they lure you in with how great it is, how you can protect your money, how easy it is to use it all over the place. Oh, by the way, if you text somebody something that we think may be anti-government, now we freeze your funds. Or even worse, by the way, what they would do, it's like shadow banning that happens on YouTube. What they'll do is they will only give you a percentage of it. So you will be taxed on your opinion.
Yep.
Which is actually worse than freezing it, because if they freeze it, the uproar is there and everybody will go apoplectic, and then they'll take their country back. So what they're going to do, their plan is, in my opinion, is it will be more of a taxation. So if you do not comply based on where your social credit score goes, you will only get a certain percentage of your money. In essence, you'll be taxed on it.
Yep.
It's wacky, but yes, I believe this.
Oh, it goes much further than that. T-Mobile announced last month that they are censoring your private text messages.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I think that may be a calm to wake us up also, but we'll see if they'll do it.
Craziness. But we'll be back tomorrow. Bruce and I will be back, and we will have the conclusion of the story that Ethan Lucas started us with Ghislaine Maxwell and that whole clan. I don't know what else to call them. They're a clan, right? And he'll fill us in on what he's uncovered. Louis, I know you'll be traveling, so you won't be with us tomorrow, but
Yeah. So I won't give details of where I am or what I'm doing, but I will give you this. My wife and I are going to be traveling. I'm going to be out of pocket from probably Friday to Tuesday. It looks like right now. I will be checking in on my Telegram, my social media, and maybe I'll throw a video out there. I don't know if I have time to work on it. And then we'll be doing something Wednesday and Thursday, which is pretty awesome. And then, of course, you guys will be back on Friday next week. Now, this is important also because we're going to be working a lot on RYO, but in part of my travels with my beautiful wife, what we are strategically doing is we're building, and I won't tell you when, probably later this year, could be in the late end of the year, we will have a documentary on religion. And so we're going to be traveling in very exotic places around the world to kind of get an opinion and see what's going on here, because the working title, probably not what's going to be, is God's Not Religious. So, and this is not a bash on Muslims or Christianity or anything else like this. It's on the construct of religion and that control mechanism and how we can get directly into touch with God, our inner self, and for many of you, Christ. So whatever that may be, that's something that we're going to be working on. I'm very proud. My wife is going to be instrumental in this and helping me with this, and she's very, very passionate about this. So very cool. And then I'll do my best to still communicate with everybody while we're gone, but it's going to be fun, Robert, and I appreciate your support handling the show on Monday and Tuesday. By the way, I don't know who it will be, but Robert's going to have to come up with some amazing interview.
I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
I got some names in mind already.
I'll work with you offline. So we'll be doing same thing on Tuesday and Thursday.
Yep.
It's just logistically, we'll figure out what we can do.
Yep.